please go?
That'd be nice. After I call you up, you can say what you need to say before you do the prayer and the pledge. You don't do the pledge.
Stand, please stand. Stand with that allegiance.
I'll ask everybody to please rise here and remain standing when the color guard comes in.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. So we'll already stand. Okay. Well, you want me to set them then before you come back up?
No, but after the pledge, yeah, you can say you can see. Okay. All right, it's 1 o'clock. Can everybody hear me back there in the back? Can't hear me? Can't hear? How about now? Everybody hear me okay? A little bit? Hey, Jim Moeller. Right over here on the side, there's a speaker. Can you up here in the front? Yeah, can you just stand it up instead of pointing towards the ceiling? Perfect. Now can everybody hear me? That better? All right. So again, good afternoon and welcome to the 4th annual City of Hamilton Veterans Hall of Fame induction ceremony. My name is Chris Haynes and I will serve as your Master of Ceremonies today. I have to say, this is probably the largest crowd that we have had. 280 guests were registered. It's either because you're here for our inductees or for our keynote speaker who has more friends than he thought. Either way, we hope this is a wonderful afternoon for each of you. Would everyone please rise? We will have posting of the colors by the Hamilton High School Junior Navy ROTC. Captain of the Color Guard, post colors.
Ready, cut. Oh, word, march. March. Color. Halt. Present. Colors.
At this time, I'd like to have our committee member, Ken Callahan, to offer a prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you, Chris, and thank everyone for coming out to honor these most deserving veteran inductees. Before I do the prayer, I would like to take a moment of silence for all the veterans that can't be with us here today. So at this time, let's just take a moment of silence. Thank you. Let us bow our heads, O sovereign ruler of the universe, who art thou the Lord of hosts and the God of peace. Without thee, our efforts are in vain. Continue thy blessings upon us and our families, we pray thee. We beseech thee, O God, to bless the dependents of our departed comrades and to comfort all who gave their loved ones to our nation's cause. Enable us to better the community in which we live in through our devotion to duty as citizens. We will now have a moment of silence for our departed comrades, for those missing in action and those held as prisoners of war. These and all other necessary blessings we ask of thee, mighty ruler of the universe. Amen. Now would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty, justice for all. Thank you.
Color guard can dismiss.
Hair B. Colors. Ready. Cut. Oh, word. March. Ready, cut, color guard, ball out.
Let's give all the members of the Navy ROTC a big round of applause. You may be seated. Some other recognition to give before we actually get started in the program. Our caterer, Kirsten, 2 women in the kitchen. If all the volunteers could come out here, it's been here since 9 a.m. this morning. Let's give them a big round of applause for the food. You know, we appreciate all the hard work that you've put into this today. And, you know, we look forward to working with you again next year, that's for sure. But again, thanks so much to you and your whole staff. So as you entered the hall today, you may have noticed a table unoccupied. Before we begin our ceremony, we pause to recognize our POWs and our MIAs. We call your attention to this small table, which occupies a place of dignity and honor. It is set for one, symbolizing the fact that members of our armed forces are missing from our ranks. They're referred to as POWs and MIAs. We call them comrades. The table is small, symbolizing the frailty of one prisoner against his or her oppressors. The tablecloth is white, symbolic of the purity of their intentions to respond to their country's call to arms. The single rose in the vase reminds us of the family and friends of our missing comrades who keep the faith while awaiting their return. The red ribbon on the vase represents an unyielding determination for proper accounting of our comrades who are not with us. A slice of lemon on the plate reminds us of their bitter fate. The salt sprinkled on the plate reminds us of the countless tears of families as they wait. The glass is inverted. They cannot toast with us at this time. The chair is empty. They are not here. The candle is reminiscent of the light of hope. The American flag reminds us that they may never return and have paid the ultimate sacrifice to ensure our freedom. Let us remember and never forget their sacrifice. So I'm pleased and honored to be here with so many great people, from our inductees, their families, all the guests, our committee members. You are truly making this a special day in the city of Hamilton. At this time, I want to introduce someone very special. We have with us Representative Sarah Crothers, if she would like to come up and say a few words. We should have put you closer.
I didn't think about it.
Thank you so much. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for including me. I had the honor of attending this, what was it, the first year? My father was inducted posthumously. It was a tremendous honor. Needless to say, it still hits me very hard. The service is extremely important in my family. I carry that on to my children, and I can see that you carry it on to yours. Thank you for all that you did for our country. Thank you for all that you do for our country. To see these young men and women coming in with the flags just brought such joy to me, because we all know freedom isn't free. No, I didn't write that, but we all know that. And so I can't thank you enough for all that you've done and all that you've shown us. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. And at this time, I'll also call up to the podium for some remarks. This individual needs no introduction, but the mayor of the city of Hamilton, Pat Moeller.
Thank you. Good afternoon. On behalf of the city of Hamilton and Hamilton City Council, including Hall of Fame member, City Council member Tim Knabb, we thank all veterans here today for their service to their country, their service to their fellow military brothers and sisters, and their service to the Hamilton community. On Wednesday of this week, Veterans Hall of Fame member Dr. Albert Miller spoke to a large crowd at the Fitness Center. Dr. Miller spoke about how he survived the Nazi regime in Berlin, Germany, fled to Switzerland at age 17, navigated his way to America, and served the United States Army from 1943 to 1946. He was trained at Fort Ritchie and became an Army interrogator at Nuremberg. At the age of nearly 100 years old, Dr. Miller continues to serve his country and community by educating approximately 5,000 adults and students each year about the horrors of the Holocaust. This year's honorees join Dr. Albert Miller in the Hamilton Veterans Hall of Fame as leaders, as role models for all of us. For those honorees who have passed away, another distinction of excellence is added to their chapter of Hamilton history. Congratulations to all honorees, and thank you, friends and family of honorees who have walked side by side with them for much of their journey. So thank you on behalf of the City of Hamilton veterans, friends, and family of veterans. Thank you.
I would also like to recognize the Executive Director and members of the Commission from the Butler County Veterans Service Commission who are here with us in the back of the room. Thank you guys again for being here. We appreciate all the work that you do on behalf of veterans, not only for this city, but in the county overall. So thank you for being here. So for those of you who may not have been at the Hall of Fame ceremony before, you may be asking yourself, how did this come to be? You know, a few years ago, I had the opportunity to travel around the state of Ohio, attending various veterans events and other Hall of Fames. And I thought to myself, well, Hamilton has a lot of veterans. They've done a lot of things after their service here for the community. So why don't we start a Hall of Fame here in the city of Hamilton? So I pitched that before a city council meeting in 2018, I believe. My good friend Dan Bates was sitting there and told me I was crazy to try to start it within a month and a half. But so we gathered together with our committee members and made it go. So again, this is our 4th annual Hall of Fame induction ceremony. And you know, we knew that Hamiltonians were patriotic. We knew many of them left home to serve all corners of this earth, whether they volunteered, whether they were drafted. We also knew many of them came back to Hamilton. They worked here locally, they started businesses, they volunteered, and some continued to serve their community. And this is why we honor them. The committee also knew we needed a keynote speaker for this ceremony because neither 5 of us wanted to be the keynote. So at this time, it gives me great privilege to introduce to you a 2021 Veterans Hall of Fame inductee, the City of Hamilton Public Works Director, and a true friend of mine, Mr. Jim Williams. Crack.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Probably got to speak up just a little bit.
Okay. All right. Good afternoon. Can everyone hear me okay? I know that speaker back there is cracking, so yeah, I apologize for that. I want to say good afternoon to Mayor Moeller, all city council members, senators, representatives, past Hall of Fame inductees, fellow veterans, your families, friends, and guests. I am so very much honored to be selected to speak to you today and to welcome and congratulate the 2022 inductees into the City of Hamilton Hall of Fame. My name is Jim Williams. I'm a 2021 inductee. I am also the Public Works Director for the city. So please hold all pothole requests until after the ceremony. I lead highly motivated men and women in the departments of gas and water distribution, streets, fleet, sewers, and codified ordinance compliance. I want you to know a little bit about me and my family background history. I was born in Cincinnati, graduated from Moeller High School, lived in Westchester for over 30 years. I'm a member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, and my frat brother, you might have seen in the news, Michael Langley, was recently promoted to a 4-star general and is earmarked as potentially the next Commandant of the United States Marine Corps and first African American in 247-year history. I have had family members that have served in the military for the United States of America since the Civil War of 1860. to present day. My uncle, who is a little bit older than me by 2.5 years, is more like a big brother. He was the first commissioned officer in the family, 1983, Navy. I was the second officer, commissioned to the Marine Corps, June 15, 1986, at the base of the Vietnam Memorial in Eden Park upon graduation from the University of Cincinnati. We are both mechanical engineers. There are currently 5 mechanical engineers in my family, and soon to be 6, which we're very proud of. In May of 2022, I swore my cousin in the Army as an officer, and he is now part of the Signal Corps. My father, James E. Williams II, was the first Marine in the family. We had hardwood floors growing up in the house. And so when my father would come home and his heels of his boots would hit the deck with a certain rhythm, he would start calling cadence, only the way a Marine would. Let me demonstrate. And that's something that's kind of special. If you've never seen it before with a company of Marines or battalion of Marines, it's very, very special. With that said, that intrigued me as a child. I was always infatuated with toy Army soldiers and G.I. Joes, the 12-inch figurines. We didn't call them dolls. And whenever I could play with my uncle, we would conduct imaginary war operations and with our Army tanks and toy battleships. Fast forward, I'm married to my wife, Renee Williams, of 35 years. She's a former Bengal. We have 2 grown daughters, Mia of Westchester, Nina of Los Angeles, California, and my granddaughter, Cree, who was just turned 1 October 29th. We are season tickets holders to the Cincinnati Bengals. So I gave Renee leave of duty today, and don't tell her I said that, okay? Because she thinks she's a general, all right? But nevertheless, I told her to go ahead and enjoy herself at the game today while I do this honor and duty of speaking with you. My goal today is to educate, inspire, and motivate. Here comes the education part. And these are some things that you should probably know, since there's all branches here today. National Guard was founded, the birthday of the National Guard was founded was December 13th, 1636. Think about that. The Army, June 14th, 1775. The Navy, October 13th, 1775. My love, the Marine Corps, November 10th, 1775. Coast Guard, August 4th, 1790. Air Force, September 18th, 1947. And the Space Force of December 20th, 2019. Now, out of all those branches, which is the only military branch that was founded in a bar called, hoorah, that's correct, the Marines. Tun Tavern, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So, what are some favorable nicknames of Marines? Devil dogs. Devil dogs. That's favorable. I say favorable, okay? So, in essence, that was created by the German soldiers of World War I at the Battle of Belleau Wood. Due to the tenacity of the Marines fighting while wearing gas masks to fend off mustard gas. The second one is leathernecks. In 1700s, the Marines were mandated to wear a leather stock to be worn by all officers and enlisted men alike. The leather collar was to protect from sword slashes against the neck. Sailors serving with us on ship started calling us leathernecks. That's how that started. Here's some other fun facts that I think you might enjoy. When you enlist to the Marine Corps, you are not a private or any other designation than recruit. And that's if you're going enlisted. If you're going to Quantico, it's candidate. Candidate. So essentially, you have to basically, to graduate and earn the Eagle, Globe, and Anchor, which basically is earned through sacrifice, dedication, transformation, and commitment. And commitment. The blood stripe, which I think you saw, I think it was the gunny sergeant back there, the blood stripe that goes down to dress blue trousers. Not everyone gets to wear that, okay? That's for non-commissioned officers and commissioned officers alike. So essentially, that blood stripe represents basically the tenacious fighting and the courage fighting of Marines at the castle at Chapultepec in Mexico, okay? And that occurred in 1847. And that's why that blood stripe, for our tradition, is still worn today. Now, a little bit more about my military background. My wife, Renee, has been with me since the beginning, as I mentioned. After she walked through the Arch of Sabers, she was then swatted. And you'll see my sword. They didn't swat her with my sword, but another sword. But in essence, she came with me to Camp Pendleton in June of 1987. I was assigned to Golf Company 2nd Battalion, 7th Marines. It's a rifle battalion. The old adage was, at that time, and it still exists, I think, to this day, but I'm not sure, is that if the Marine Corps wanted you to have a wife, they would have issued you one. I saw Renee exactly 1 month in our first year and a half of marriage. I was gone. As an infantry platoon commander, we basically deployed quickly and to support Operation Team Spirit. And that was with Japanese self-defense forces, as well as the Republic of South Korea military forces. The purpose of this operation was to show presence and strength in the region to our known enemies. During this deployment, we became an activated combat battalion. Due to the rise of what was known to become later Abu Sayyaf, which is a growing extremist group, Muslim extremist group, in the southern Filipino islands. During that same time, in '88, a person by the name of Osama bin Laden formed Al-Qaeda, which at that time was primarily Arabs fighting in Afghanistan against the Soviet Union. Who knew that over a period of few years, beginning in 1988, that Al-Qaeda would come to influence Southeast Asia, North Africa, Somalia, and portions of the Middle East? In the spring of 1989, my battalion was relocated from its home in the northern end of Camp Pendleton, which is an area called San Mateo, right next to San Clemente, where President Nixon was born. From there, we moved to Marine Corps Base 29 Palms, located in the Mojave Desert. It is there we began training as the Desert Contingency. That's when it all began. Not long after that relocation, August 2nd, 1990, Saddam Hussein Iraqi forces invaded Kuwait to annex it. This sounds eerily familiar to what's going on in Ukraine by Putin's Russian forces. The movement of the 1st Marine Division to Saudi Arabia began with the deployment of 7th Marine Expeditionary Brigade, which was my unit, and Maritime Prepositioning Squadron 2. The Gulf War consisted of 2 phases. The first was Desert Shield that lasted from 2 August 1990 to 17 January 1991. This allowed for troop buildup in defense of Saudi Arabia, and then the second operation was Desert Storm. That lasted from 17 January 1991 to 28 February 1991, and that's considered to be the combat phase. The ground assault phase, the actual ground assault phase, started 24 February 1991. The decisive victory of the coalition of forces, which comprised of 35 nations, ended 100 hours after the initial ground campaign began. That's how powerful, I would say, our forces are. After the war, I went to work for the Department of Energy's weapons complex at sites you may have heard of: Paducah, Kentucky, Piketon, Ohio, uranium enrichment plants, which is what they were, and the Fernald Uranium Metals Plant. Some of you maybe in this room have worked there. I've held numerous leadership roles in each of these companies that I've worked. My longest tenured role so far was with Centos Corporation as a senior director in research and development. There, I met Dick Farmer, the founder of Centos, and Dick Farmer was a Marine. my Marine Corps experience has been fundamental catalyst to my leadership development and problem solving. Over the past 40 years, I attribute my personal and professional success to the training and experiences from my military service in the beginning of my professional career. So to wrap this up, because I know my inductees are waiting, okay? But to wrap this up in conclusion, and this is to my brothers and sisters in arms. In my opinion, your service to this country does not stop at the end of your service with your contract to the military. It continues every day that we breathe and move the needle of life in a positive direction, even if only a little bit. The way I see it, since I do not have plans to reach Valhalla, which is the great hall in Norse mythology where heroes are slain in battle or received, I believe that was not claimed on a battlefield will eventually be claimed. Death is inevitable. So, it is how you live and carry on during your course of life that matters most to honor those who paid the ultimate sacrifice. Lastly, my mantra is to make whatever situation or opportunity that I put myself in better than the way I found it. To make it better than the way I found it. I hope my words here today have provided you with a little motivation to do the same. May God bless the great city of Hamilton, our state of Ohio, our country, our citizens, our military, and the United States Marine Corps. And si vis pacem parabellum semper fidelis. Thank you.
Well, again, thanks, Jim. We appreciate that. You're welcome back anytime. You know that. Do you think that's why the 280 people registered?
I don't know. I think it's my good looks.
Okay. So we will now proceed with the City of Hamilton Veterans Hall of Fame induction ceremony. It is with great pride that I have the opportunity to read the names of our hometown heroes who were nominated and selected to be inducted into this Hall of Fame. As I read your name, please come forward to the podium. If you are a relative of a veteran and are receiving their plaque, please come forward as their name is read. Sir, would you like to come forward, please? Ms. Krellers? That's such a long walk. Yeah. Mr. Ralph Bocchino, United States Army, 1949 to 1951. Served in Korea. Received the Combat Infantry Badge. Korean Service Medal with 5 Bronze Stars. Worked at General Electric Aviation for 38 years. He and his cousin walked into the Air Force recruiting station and was told to go across the hall to the Army because he wore glasses. On his 19th birthday, Christmas Day, he laid in a foxhole on duty at minus 34 degrees. And he's been around long enough that he played ball with the Nuxalls in the alley on North End up there. Mr. Ralph Bocchino. Mr. Jeff Shaw, United States Marine Corps. From 1985 to 1989 in the infantry. 2 meritorious unit commendations, Good Conduct Medal, attended Jungle Warfare School in Panama and Mountain Warfare School in Korea. He's been with the Hamilton Fire Department for 32 years and currently serves as a deputy chief, a position he has held since 2012. In 2001, he started the Hamilton Fire Department Honor Guard, which participates in many numerous events throughout our city. Mr. Jeff Shaw. Raymond Nickteen, United States Army, Korea. He fought and was wounded at the Battle of Port Chop Hill, received a Silver Star, Bronze Star, 2 Purple Hearts. He was drafted by the Boston Braves after high school and played 2 seasons of minor league ball. In 1991, he was Citizen of the Year and began his youth baseball coach in 1954 and took 2 Little League All-Star teams to the Little League World Series in 1991 and 1993. His team won the American Legion Youth Baseball National Championship, and he has been inducted into the Roger Bacon and Greater Hamilton Bowling Hall of Fames. Mr. Ray Nickteen. Thomas Jeffers, United States Air Force, 1969 to 1972. Vietnam, received the Air Force Medal, Vietnam Service Medal. Since 2015, he has served as a Butler County Veteran Service Commissioner, representing the American Legion. He's been a keynote speaker in 2019 for the Memorial Day ceremony and currently serves as the American Legion Post Commander. Mr. Tom Jeffers. If I could bring Michael Cupp up here just a moment. Our next inductee, Cecile Elizabeth Dewar, United States Army Nurse Corps, 1918 to 1919, World War I. She was a Notre Dame graduate, Hamilton class of 1912. She graduated Mercy Hospital School of Nursing, served in the Argonne Forest and in Verdun, France. And as a rarity for many people that belongs to veterans organizations, she's a charter member of American Legion Post 138 as a female. So again, Cecil Elizabeth Dewar. You want to say something?
Yes, speak into the mic, please.
All right. Thank you, Chris. By the way, the young lady right next to me is my granddaughter, Sydney. This is her 3rd time here at these ceremonies. She's wearing my dad's medal. 2 years ago, my father and I, my late father and I were inducted here at the Hall of Fame, and so Sydney has her great-grandfather's medal and my American Legion hat. She took that away from me. Anyway, Cecilia Dewar, she was one of 10 children. Cecilia never married. There were 6 girls and 4 boys in the family. 3 of her sisters did not marry. Of her brothers, 3 of them were married. 2 of them did not have any kids. The one brother, Joseph, who did have some kids, left Hamilton in the 1920s and moved to California, and I have no idea what happened to them. I'm a certified genealogist. I've been doing this research for over half a century. I can't find any living relatives of Cecilia Dewar. But as a charter member of the Frank Derwin Post 138, our Legion Post was chartered on January 9th, 1920. It'll be 103 years this January. So, what I would like to do is for our post commander, Tom Jeffers, to accept Cecilia's awards. And it's my understanding that Tom will take these back to our American Legion post, and they will be put on display in our club room because Cecilia is part of our Legion family. Thank you.
Our next inductee, Steve Malacote, United States Army National Guard. (1970 to 1976). He assisted in the efforts, or the cleanup efforts, during the Sailor Park tornado. He trained at Camp Lejeune with the Marines. His MOS was supply. And, you know, I've known Steve for a long time. You know, he joined as a supply guy, and they sent him straight to infantry. He's got many stories to tell, especially how to get some beer from the cooks, pack them in empty M60 shell casing cans with ice. He began cutting hair at Fort Hood, where he would send his paycheck home and keep his hair cutting money. And if you want to know what's going on in Hamilton and around this city, talk to a guy that's been cutting hairs here for 54 years. Caroline Deneen, United States Marine Corps. From 1993 to 2013, Global War on Terrorism, Meritorious Service Medal, Navy Marine Corps Commendation Medal, served as the Executive Director of the Butler County Veterans Service Commission from 2014 to 2021. Her leadership helped repair a broken commission and better to serve our veterans. Mrs. Caroline Deneen. Mr. James Savage, United States Air Force and Army. So James served in the United States Air Force and Army from 1977 to 2018, received a Bronze Star, Operation Iraqi Freedom. He was awarded the Legion of Merit in 2022. He managed a drawdown in Iraq of over 250,000 pieces of armored equipment and 8,000 soldiers. He began his enlisted career in the Air Force and ended as an Army Chief Warrant Officer. He's also a member of AMVETS post 1983. Mr. James Savage. General Charles H. Jones, United States Army. Mr. Jones served from the U.S. Army from 1942 to 1978, from World War II to Korea, a Bronze Star, a Silver Star, Distinguished Service Medal, Purple Heart, participated in the Battle of the Bulge. He's Ohio National Guard Commander, Secretary-Treasurer at Champion Papers. He was a lawyer. And in 1982, the new the National Guard Armory on Sims Road was named in his honor, a rare distinction for a living person. He served twice as a state representative and once as an Ohio senator. He served in numerous leadership capacities on boards and nonprofits throughout the city. General Charles Jones. Sister Mary Catherine Ohm, United States Women's Army Corps. Served from 1943 to 1946, served in northern France shortly after D-Day invasion. She was so moved by watching the Little Sisters of the Poor attending to the wounded servicemen that she wanted to make it her life's work. She returned home and in 1950 joined the Little Sisters of the Poor in Cincinnati. Upon completing her vows in 1952, she returned to northern France, where she spent the last 70 years. Sister Mary passed away earlier this year at the age of 101. Sister Mary Catherine Ohm.
You left too soon. I did some research on the Ohm family I'd like to present to you. And going back to the two first members of your family, George and Margareta Ohm, who were born, both of them born in 1827 in Bavaria, Germany, and came to Hamilton. They were German immigrants. I'd like to present you with the family history of the Ohm family. Thank you.
Again, Michael Cupp, he does some extraordinary work in genealogy, and he can dig up some history on a lot of people. So, but these next two gentlemen are a pair, and they will be called up here together. Delbert Young and Cletus Dee Withrow. So Delbert Young served in the United States Army from 1953 to 1955, Korea, National Defense Service Medal, Good Conduct Medal. He was employed at Champion Papers for 44 years. Served as the American Legion Post Commander in 1967 and has been a member for 68 years. He recently had the opportunity to travel to Washington, D.C. with honor flight, and it made him feel extremely proud to have served and honored to be with so many other service members. And Dee Withrow, United States Army, 1951 and 1952, Korean Service Medal with Bronze Star. He served in the 15th Infantry Tank Company as a gunner. He was employed at Champion Paper for 35 years and has served as Post Commander of the Legion and 5 years as the District Commander of the Legion. He is a life member of the AMVETS, the Elks, the Knights of Columbus, and the Monkeys. Mr. Young and Mr. Withrow. Mr. Larry Neal, United States Army. Served from 1982 to 1986 in the 147th Infantry Brigade. He was a graduate at Hamilton High School, received his bachelor's degree in criminal justice with a minor in psychology, worked for many years at the Juvenile Detention Center. He served as a local NAACP president and was pastor of the Kingdom Living Church of God. Mr. Larry Neal. Mr. Danny Crank, United States Army. From 1972 to 1974, received the National Defense Service Medal, Good Conduct Medal. And I had an opportunity to sit down with Danny and talk about this a little bit with him a while back. He told me he was drafted as a typist, which was not a good fit for Danny. The Army sent him to Fort McNair, and he did defense investigations. Danny said it was like a normal job. He never wore civilian, he wore civilian clothes. He graduated Miami University with a degree in sociology. He worked 23 years as a realtor, achieving Broker of the Year 4 times, served 12 years on the Hamilton City Council, and is currently serving his 22nd year as Butler County Recorder. Mr. Danny Crank. Gary Goings, United States Army. So Gary served in the United States Army from 1955 to 1961, and then he thought, well, hell, in 1983 I'll join again, and he served until 1997. National Defense Service Medal, Good Conduct Medal. Feeling he had more in him to serve, he joined the National Guard at age 45. He was employed at Champion Papers for 2 years and the Postal Service for 34 years. He spent much of his time coaching soccer, softball, and basketball for the Butler County Special Olympics, winning the 1996 Basketball State Championship. In 1964, he and 2 other mailmen walked from Hamilton to Greenville, Ohio, 13 hours to deliver a letter. He's been a 56-year member of the AMVETS. Oh, and he brought the newspaper article here. If you'll oblige me, that age-old joke about mailmen going for a walk on their day off came to life here today. 3 local letter carriers struck by a nationwide walkathon craze headed north for Greenville, 55 miles away. Charles Ballard, Gary Goings, and Fred Winstead started from the post office and assembled at U.S. Route 127, embarking at 6:05 a.m. A light snow peppered their route. Both Ballard and Winstead expressed quite confidence that they could make it, while Goings was not as certain. I think we can make it, he nodded towards his companions, but I don't think we can do it. Winstead, a Navy veteran, stashed some sandwiches in his pocket, and all 3 said they had planned a minimum of stops as they ankled through Butler County, Preble County, and Darke County. The trio confided to a friend that they were trying to make it in 10 hours. So again, what did it take you? First time they got 1-day delivery, huh? And you know, again, that's what's so special about this Hall of Fame ceremony, and you get to read the bios and what's submitted on these individuals, and the stories you learn from our local Hamiltonians and those that have whether they're born here, whether they worked here, but it's so awesome to see the different stories from everyone. Mr. Al Lippart. United States Army, 1965 to 1979 in Vietnam. Received the Combat Infantry Badge, Purple Heart, Bronze Star with Valor. He is a native Hamiltonian, now making his residence in Georgia, a graduate of Hamilton Catholic, and a tremendous entrepreneur. He reminded me in those days he would rent ties for the ones who forgot theirs when he showed up for school. He was elected mayor for the day during Civics Weeks, and he played football with legendary coach Terry Malone. He has served all levels of the Veterans of Foreign Wars in his home state of Georgia, including state commander. And in July of this year, he was elected to the high office of National Junior Vice Commander to the Veterans of Foreign Wars of the United States, Mr. Al Liphart. And I believe it's been kind of a reunion of such for Mr. Al and Liphart and Mr. Danny Crank because they went to school together. Our next inductee, Mr. Marcus Messerschmidt. United States Army from 1990 to 2012, Somalia, Iraq, Afghanistan, Combat Infantry Badge, awarded the Legion of Merit, 2 Bronze Stars, Purple Heart, 11 Army accommodations, completed the Army's Best Ranger competition, competed in the Army's Best Ranger competition 4 times, winning it in 2000. He's employed at Molson Coors in Trenton. He was elected to the Edgewood School Board this year, or not this year, last year? Yes. Serves as vice chair for the Heroes Fund and is a site leader for the Molson Coors Veterans Group. And has also said that he loves Richard steak sandwiches with extra onions. A man after my own heart, believe me. Mr. Todd McAllister. United States Marine Corps, 1983 to 2003. Navy Commendation Medal, 2 Navy Achievement Medals, and he was a drill instructor. Since 2005, he has served as a naval science instructor for the junior ROTC at Hamilton High School. Over the past 10 years, he has led, counseled, taught, and consoled over 1,500 students in the ROTC and summer camp programs. He has worked with families and parents to positively impact students. His goals for his students are clear: graduate and have a plan after you graduate. In 2008, the Navy Junior ROTC had its first national drill. At the 2021 Nationals, the team finished 9th overall with a 3rd place in drill, 4th place in armed exhibition, and the color guard being declared the national winner. Mr. Todd McAllister. So for the last couple of years, we've always had a surprise inductee, and we don't have one this year, just so everybody's looking around, hoping it ain't them, you know. But last year we surprised Mr. Tim Knabb as an inductee, and we didn't have a lot of bio on him at that time, but I just want to say a few things about Mr. Knabb. He served in the United States Army from 1970 to 1972, received the Combat Infantry Badge, Vietnam veteran, having served a 14-month tour ending in 1971. Tim is a native of Buffalo, New York. Tim relocated to Hamilton in 1977 while working in the food management industry. The Knabb family has a very proud tradition of service, with Tim's grandfathers, father, and brother having served. Tim continues to serve this community as an elected member of City Council, on Leadership Hamilton, 17 Strong Neighborhoods, and others. So again, Mr. Tim Knabb, thank you. So since the very beginning, this committee also takes great pride in announcing that each year we'll induct one civilian into the Hall of Fame, one who has shown great support for military and veterans issues over a sustained period. This year's recipient is Mr. James Jim Blount. He was a noted historian and a Hamilton Journal News editor. He earned a bachelor's in education and a master's in history. Through Journal News editorials, he pushed for improvements throughout the city, to include a more than 50-year push for improvements at the South Hamilton Railroad crossing, which now bears his name. He was a teacher of history, civics, and journalism. He wrote numerous military historical columns, as well as hosted the Civil War Roundtable. He wrote the stories on the medallions of the Main High Bridge, as well as most historical markers. Jim also provided research on the Butler County Medal of Honor recipients, whose stories appear in the lobby of the Government Services Center. I believe his wife Jackie's here to accept that on his behalf. So get another big round of applause to all of our inductees. So could I have Gunny McAllister come back up here to the front, and also Jeff Shaw come up here to the front. You know, there's a tradition we've done since the very beginning of this Hall of Fame, and that not too many days away, and if anybody could tell you, there's a few gentlemen in this room that could tell you the Marine Corps' birthday is coming up. Yeah, so you cannot forget the Marine Corps' birthday. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Carolyn, you too. I apologize. I apologize. Yeah. Who else? Any other Marines in here? Come on up. Come on up. Yeah. Mike Farmer, come on up, buddy. Well, we got a lot of Marines here. So who's our youngest Marine here? Who's the youngest Marine? There he is. Who's our oldest Marine? I'm 61, so somebody got to be older than me. 75. There you go. So again, there's a tradition that takes place every November 10th. We do it during this ceremony, of course, and they've done that since 1921, when General John Lejeune published the first birthday message to his beloved Marine Corps. So in keeping with that tradition, we will again ceremoniously cut the cake for the Marine Corps' birthday. So Mr. Williams, with your sword, if I could have the youngest and oldest Marine out here to cut the cake, we would appreciate that. There we go. Well, thank you, guys. Now I want to make a few announcements before we wrap this up here today. There will be a Veterans Day breakfast here next Friday, I believe from 8 to 10. If you want to come out and participate, again, a Veterans Day breakfast. Yeah, it's sponsored by the Butler County Veterans Service Commission. So again, come out here and participate. I believe it's in this same room here. One other announcement we found out last night is in this room, we have another honoree in here that will take place that day, and I hope it's okay to say that now. But Mr. Fred Bailey is a Butler County Butler County Veteran of the Year. And as you can see on your table, there's flyers, there's envelopes, there's all kind of stuff on your table. But a lot of things going on here next week and throughout the month for veterans. I believe that the Hamilton City Council and the mayor designated November as Veterans Month in the city of Hamilton. On November 9th, Casual Pint downtown will have a dine to donate. They will round up some of their money to donate to the Hall of Fame here. Municipal Brew Works on November 10th will be tapping a veterans beer, and all proceeds will go to the Butler County Veterans Memorial Wall. Now, a few weeks ago, we spoke about the wall at the council meeting. You know, Veterans Park there off New London Road has a veterans wall that has not been updated in some time, so it's time to raise some funds and get those service members who paid the ultimate sacrifice to Iraq and Afghanistan updated on that wall. That information's on your table. You can buy a brick or you can make a donation straight to the Hamilton Community Foundation. So that's what that's for. And again, there's envelopes on there. Only one per table, but if more is needed, you can reach out to the Community Foundation or send a donation directly to them. There are also nomination forms on your table for next year's class. If you know of a veteran worthy of being inducted into the Hall of Fame, you know, we'd love to see you submit those names to us through the Chamber of Commerce. That you can get all the information together, submit it to the Chamber of Commerce, we review them, and we'll have our selection made next year. But again, I want to thank all the volunteers. I want to thank the committee, Mr. Dan Bates, Mr. Pat Moeller, Mr. Tim Knabb, Mr. Ken Callahan. We couldn't do this without their support, and again, with all your support, supporting your loved ones and your veterans. And again, we hope you enjoyed today, and we look forward to seeing the inductees come back in future years. You're always welcome to come back and sit in here with us as we induct our next class the Sunday before Veterans Day next year. Anything? Good? Thank you all again for being here. We hope you enjoyed your day.